Some guys really like Batman, and they had an epiphany. So they all got to work on the next Batman movie. And now they are the heroes, and you get to follow along. They're bringing him to life every week after this song. Batman, Project Batman, Project Batman. Fuck yeah!
Should I close that door?
I got it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I decided when I emailed you the thing, I'm going to start... I don't know why, I just saved it as PDFs. I'm going to just send you the damn final draft file so that way you can actually copy and paste it.
Okay.
As opposed to having to type the whole... That's what he was doing at my party, he was typing the whole goddamn thing out, trying to copy it all into one file.
But I weirdly don't mind because then I don't know, just get more familiar with the scene.
Yeah, I suppose. I would mind just because I got other shit to do.
yeah, I know. I know. I hear you. So, awesome party the other night.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It was fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
Me too. Did I leave with my hat, or is that still here? My Indiana Jones hat?
You left with it, I'm pretty sure, because I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Somebody left a
did.
Paramore coat here.
That's pretty cool.
And somebody also left a black Bic lighter here.
Well,
I was like, oh, cool, free shit.
I've seen Paramore live.
How'd that go?
I've used a black lighter at a show. Might have been me.
Those are your
know.
things.
Paramore show is okay.
I like how Hayley Williams is really hot.
Yeah, me too. That was actually the only time I've ever had sex in public was at a Paramore show. It came up organically. I will drop that here.
Drop it like it's hot.
And drink to that.
Yeah, drink to that.
On this week's episode of Half in the Bag.
I'm in the bag.
All right. So this version of the script I'm working on is the Kenn's Past version because I've totally had to go through it all chronologically and just because I need everything to be in my head laid out and get specific things. I've done a pass on everything, including stuff I had written earlier. Mm-hmm. So this is just what I've been writing in. But
yeah, I was trying to take your advice while I was writing today and try and keep things not so verbose and stuff. But I don't know if it worked. But
yeah.
I did give it an attempt.
Right on. We'll get it all figured out and down. Yeah, just more excuses to drink all the way. All right, so let's see.
To totaling my ass.
Ken has an iPod to go with his iPad and his iMac, so drink to that.
I am a walking commercial.
I'll drink to
for
that.
Apple. All right, what have we read already? The fucking Paris, breakfast. All right, so then the last scene chronologically that we've done as far into the script is when you wrote the Paris scenes of where Batman meets Talia there, and they find the family. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's that's all there. Done that. Da-da-da. Alright, the next part. I guess... Well, let's start with something else. Let's start with something more exciting to me. I mean, my scenes are exciting to me, but I want to read this email. Okay, last episode, I brought up that I had emailed Film Crit Hulk about being on our show, and that I thought it was a long shot, but I thought, what the hell? And actually, if I had looked at the time, he might have already emailed back because I hadn't checked the email in days. So let's see here. I had sent it from the Project Batman account and didn't name myself as Kenn Edwards until the very end of our email. But, so he had to have opened the email because we're marked on the email account as Bruce Wayne, not Project Batman or anything. We have our own comic name, just like him. Okay. So I had emailed him, and I was like, "Hey, well, should I'll,
you should probably read your email."
All right, I'll at least skim it and be like, "Hello, Hulk. Anytime you put into reading or responding to this is greatly appreciated. By the way, this is email I wrote to Film Crit Hulk, who wrote the Screenwriting 101 essay that we based the beginning of this project off of, and we have tried to follow. Since then, he recently released his book Screenwriting 101 by Film Crit Hulk for the Amazon Kindle. You can download it, the ebook. It's over 400 pages. It's excellent. I reread it a few weeks ago. It's great. Anyway, I emailed him and said what I just read, and then in January, my friends and I started working on a project we deemed Project Batman, and then I explained to him what Project Batman was and that we used his Screenwriting 101 column to start this. We've developed the story over the course of a few months with input from listeners and have been writing and collaborating when we get together since then to put together finished work. At the end of December, we put together all of our scenes we've written independently and edit and rewrite them, and for a few weeks we are getting input and other well-respected writers we know for episodes of the podcast before settling on the finished script. But before we start the full artistic production process and deem our script finished, we would be honored if you, being the person whose step-by-step how-to process we've followed from the beginning, would be willing to give it a read and come on our podcast and tell us your thoughts and criticisms. I had considered this before and thought the idea was far-fetched, but today as your book came out, which I reread in one sitting, I saw your post offering to promote it on podcasts and I thought asking couldn't hurt. We won't be finalizing a script until the end of January, so if you're available to Skype in and record at any point around then, we would be more than honored. If not, thanks for all your writing. It has greatly informed everything I've done and simultaneously been immensely entertaining. You've forever impacted this writer's future and so much about this Batman story. Then I sent him the YouTube animatic we have for the record time sequence. And I sent that on December 5th, and on December 10th, he sent
my
us...
birthday.
Yep.
So it was that day.
Yeah, that's nuts. He said, "Hey there, Ken. So, Hulk sees your name pop up a bunch, and you've always been most kind, and Hulk would love to return the kind favor."
Keep in mind that he replied in the same way that he writes all of his stuff, in the fashion, grammatically and everything caps locked like the Hulk would.
Yep.
Which I thought was brilliant. Yeah.
There are, however, a few complications, and Hulk will be honest about them as Hulk owes you that. 1. Depending on the damn week in Hulk's consulting contracts, Hulk is forbidden from looking at a non-solicited script. The reason basically has to do with legal culpability. 2. The second aspect is that Hulk works an absurd amount of hours on all these set gigs and knee-deep in pilot stuff right now, and finding a couple hours of spare time to sit down and give the script what it deserves and then do a podcast. It is going to be really difficult to pull off, especially when... 3. Hulk gets paid a whole bunch of money to do a script evaluation these days, and Hulk doesn't have time to get to most of the ones Hulk wants, but please understand this is merely to articulate why the spare time thing is even more pressing. Every day, Hulk is having to explain to Betty, quote-unquote Betty, why Hulk, the person he's in a relationship with, I love that he calls her Betty, why Hulk doesn't take more work when Hulk is doing this Hulk stuff for no money. She loves it, but it's a valid concern. Again, Hulk's goal is just to contextualize the problems here. So, the question is really, what can we do here? Hulk's unsure, but Hulk just wanted to keep talking about it. Does that make sense? Anywho, sincerest of thanks for the kind words, really. They mean a great deal and can completely brighten a day. Cheers. Hulk. So, that made me feel good that, like, he recognized me, from having commented and written to him for years, that, like, oh, that shit does make an impact. And B, that he wants to contribute even though he says that he can't do what we asked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys, but my first instinct upon reading that is, well, shifty eyes. How much money does he get paid, or how much money does he charge for professional script evaluation? I mean, I and I quickly Googled just like one service, like one random professional script service evaluator, and it was like for a amateur treatment it was like $275, and for like a proper full treatment it was like $450 or something like that. And I mean, I don't have a job at the moment, but I mean, this is like our indie project with hopes to get some recognition for it in the future, and I think the guy who I respect most for knowing how to construct a story, evaluating our project in a story-based thing before we ever get actual production started, sounds like a pretty fucking good investment to me, if we're actually going to spend some money on this. And I mean, I've already decided I'm just going to ask him how much that costs, how much he professionally does that, if he has time to accept more of those jobs, and if so, how soon he would be able to do that or work that into his schedule. And that's one of those things that I'll just be like, guys, I'll pay if you want to contribute, whatever. If you don't, I'll pay it. So that's what I'm going to ask him. So I'm just informing the listeners where we're at in the conversation process. I didn't email him back because I wanted to ask you guys, like, other than that, he asked what can he do here. I mean, is there...
Yeah, he said he wants to keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys could... I can't imagine having him on the show to ask him about specific questions without him having a vision of the entire story and what we're
right. Without him having read the screenplay, it would be hard to.
Yeah,
I mean, I think a professional script evaluation is something we could work in. I'm unsure about what that legal non-solicited script. Does that mean one that he hasn't signed a contract to say, hey, this'll, or does it have something to do with the fact that it is a Batman story?
I think it has to do with the fact that he currently has a Writers Guild of America membership, and he legally works with them and has to document everything he reads. And if the person who writes what they've given him isn't like a member of the Writers Guild of America, he can get fined or some shit like that, some crazy shit like that. So, I mean, I don't know if I could ask him something like, can you...
have him elaborate on the legal culpability.
Okay, and yeah, I'll ask him that, and then be like, part B, if there's any way that you can review our script, how much would that cost? So, I mean, if we're all getting something out of it, if I can pay him to review our script, then
yeah, I mean, I just got a pretty reasonable bonus at work, and then come April or so, I'm gonna get tax returns. So
yeah, and that, I mean, if we were able to pay him, that would make me feel, not that I would feel guilty that he would come on our podcast. Like, I would be honored, but I'd feel like he was really getting something out of it. I would feel like it would be a fair exchange, like, for him. Like, I know he's big in the business, even though we don't know who he is. Like, he's made numerous allusions, and his sheer knowledge of the entire subject of the business totally is proof of that. But, like, I mean, to have somebody who works like 100 hours a week professionally in the business, like, on our project, would be like amazing, even if it was for one step of the way.
Right.
And God damn, he would bring in a lot of followers. So,
plus, I look up to this guy.
Yeah,
me too. I mean, if I
from one superhero to another sort of thing.
Yeah.
if his book were something that I could, like, go to the store and buy, I would have bought copies for both of you guys, just because it's amazing.
Yeah, I want to go online and can I get it for, like, just the computer?
I don't see why not. You can get a Kindle app for your computer. That's how I read it on my iPad, because it's for the Kindle, but I got a Kindle app.
Okay.
And it's only $4.95 for over 400 pages.
Yeah, there's
of gold. It's awesome. Okay, so that's that. Moving on, I guess. Okay. the last thing that happened in the script that we're moving on to from here. Last thing was Batman and Talia met the Renardo family in the safe house. He got and extracted something from the dog to study later or whatever. Just promise us you can find whoever did this and make them pay for what they've done.
You have my word.
They shake hands and Batman exits the Renardo safe house. Alright. I guess you know, Sean, you're going to be Alfred and Talia. Vincent, you're going to be Bruce / Batman. And I don't remember what else is happening. You're also going to be Raish.
Okay.
And then whatever else is necessary, we'll figure out.
Alright, cool. Yeah, I remember you tried to have me read this at my party, and I was just way too drunk to pay attention.
That's okay.
Just scoot it a little this way if you can.
Okay, yeah. Alright. Interior, Wayne Manor, study. Alfred is sitting next to the fireplace, smoking a pipe, happily caught up in a book. A telephone ring startles him. He picks up the nearby phone.
Wayne Manor?
Alfred!
Master Bruce?
Intercut Wayne Manor scenes with footage of interior Batwing. Talia pilots while Bruce stands near the back on his bat cell phone, facing away from her.
Any news? You didn't fight your friends again, did you?
Why is that your first question?
It was technically my second, sir.
Bruce drops the phone to his side for a moment, making a motion of being annoyed at the sky.
Anyway, how was Mount Cheyenne?
They were no help.
So you're on your way home then?
I'm actually in Paris.
Paris?
We're just leaving it, actually.
Did you find anything there?
Of course I learned more from a dog than from a room of... I'm gonna start again. Of course I learned more from a dog than from a room of world leaders. I'm uploading a sample I need analyzed. See if you can use the Bat computer to synthesize a cure.
Bruce sits at a computer on the Batwing and punches keys. Alfred heads to the Batcave.
I'll see what I can find out by the time you get home.
Actually, I'm heading to check for Lazarus Pits. One villain who could be anywhere is Ra's al Ghul.
I thought all the Lazarus Pits you knew of were no longer a problem.
Bruce looks back at Talia.
I got a tip on where to find some more.
Alfred walking by a Batsuit in progress.
Ah.
As always, be careful, sir.
See you soon.
Bruce hangs up the phone. The computer screen reads, upload complete. He heads up to the cockpit, co-pilot seat.
Afraid to tell him about me?
I don't report every informant I have to Alfred.
That's all I am to you, an informant?
How do I know you're not leading me into a trap, right into his lap?
Wouldn't that be giving you what you want?
Bruce grits his teeth.
Where are you taking us?
There's a Lazarus Pit right outside of Italy. My father said he settled there for a while around the era of the bubonic plague.
Thanks for the information. This is something I'd like to interject with.
Okay.
We'll have to change that time a little bit.
Okay.
Because the bubonic plague, the biggest outbreak of that was in the 1350s. We took a little... what's that? Literary license, or what am I thinking of?
I know what you're... creative license.
We took a little creative license in going with a different outbreak of the plague, but I think that just a different... Just a different
around
arrow.
the second.
No, I'm thinking more of maybe. Or I mean, we've got literally 400 years to choose from. Maybe the French Revolution.
Okay, is that what happened now? What's the beginning of the movie? What year is that we're using?
1450 something.
Okay, is that when the French Revolution is?
Oh, is it supposed to? It's supposed to exactly be around that time.
I mean, that's all I was trying to reference. We can figure all this out.
Remember, he may not, and now we don't know this for sure, but he may not have even found a Lazarus Pit at this point. You got to remember, the dude was only like 50.
Yeah,
and he was searching for them.
Okay,
so maybe. So if it was one or from around that time, it would have to be the very first one that he found. And I think that there would be something a little more significant about just finding the first one that he ever found or something like that.
Right, exactly. Okay, see,
so just like a completely random one that just happens to be nearby.
Okay, see, all this is stuff I wasn't thinking of when I did it, which is why, like, that's something I would let you just straight up edit that line when you did your pass on the scene, and then you would explain it, and it would make perfect sense. But for now, just for the context of what we're doing, we're going to read that. We're gonna go back into it and read that line how it is, just to keep going. All right, Talia start. Sean start back at Talia saying that.
That's all I am to you, an informant?
How do I know you're not leading me into a trap, right into his lap?
Wouldn't that be giving you what you want?
Bruce grits his teeth.
Where are you taking us?
There's a Lazarus pit right outside of Italy. My father said he settled there for a while around the era of the bubonic plague.
Thanks for the information.
They both stare ahead, silently, for a beat. Exterior, Ostia, Italy. The Batwing swoops into a clearing and lands. Batman and Talia exit. Bruce does not help her down from it.
We'll have to hike a ways from here. This was the closest place I could put down your ship.
It's called the Batwing.
They take off into the trees. Interior, Lazarus Pit. A shot from below reveals moonlight when Batman and Talia remove the brush that covers it. Batman anchors a hook on the side and lowers them down. He tugs it near the bottom, and they jump down. The Lazarus Pit is shallow, filled with a percent of the ooze that it clearly holds when full.
My father has been here.
Bruce examines the ground.
Somebody has. Look at all the prints.
It was him or his guards. This is what it looks like when he drains it.
Drain it? I thought he jumped inside of it to use it.
That's how he uses it on himself, but he's been testing it for centuries, trying to synthesize it or use it for something else.
Something like what?
He's always trying to invent new things, create new medicines and weapons. He could get me to help him. He could get me to help him sometimes.
He would get you.
He would get me to help him sometimes. Thank you, man.
Bruce investigating the ooze.
I've always been curious and never got a sample. I wonder if it's some sort of residue, left over from the beginning. It seems so ancient.
When he doesn't get a response, he looks back at Talia, who is lost, her gaze intense, in the Lazarus Pit. After a beat, Bruce speaks, and she's startled by him being behind her.
You said that you hadn't seen him in a while. What happened?
Why do you suddenly care?
Because all of this would be a lot easier if I could trust you.
She looks forlornly at him, and we enter flashback mode.
Do you remember the last time we saw each other?
The time you and your father teamed up to try and kill the international representative of peace and justice? How could I forget?
Do you want me to tell you or not?
Batman says nothing. Exterior, desert, wherever that episode was.
We'll have to do a little bit of research, I think.
It's the bottom of the ravine below the Al Ghul's equipment. A river flows steadily, and Talia gets out. She catches her breath, then looks around for her father.
Father?
A beat passes as she frantically searches the bank. When the torso of Ra's al Ghul pops out from the water, Talia gasps, grabs her father, and helps him onto the bank.
Oh, Father, I'm so happy you made it out of there alive.
As am I, daughter.
Talia embraces her father.
What do we do now?
We are not going to do anything.
Talia releasing her embrace.
What? What do you mean?
You need to leave. It is because of you and my love for you that this battle was lost. You are to me what kryptonite is to Superman. And if I'm to secure my greater purpose in the history of our species, you can't be part of it. A less loving father would kill you to ensure success, but I trust you'll stay out of my way.
The camera spins to reveal a biplane on the opposite side of the bank, and Ra's makes his way to it.
Father!
Talia can't believe this. She tears up and begins to lose it.
Father!
He pays her no mind, and a wide shot depicts her falling to her knees as his plane takes off, leaving her behind. Interior, Lazarus Pit.
That was the day I lost my father. I haven't seen him since.
These words hit Bruce hard.
That was years ago. He could be anywhere.
They hold eye contact for a beat. The moment is tense, but not due to distrust.
Well, there are plenty of other pits for us to check. There had to be clues somewhere.
Bruce tosses his grappling hook and tugs to test its stability. He holds his arm out to Talia.
Then we should get going.
Talia accepts his embrace, and again they share a gaze as Batman lifts them up. There it is.
So that was pretty good. One thing I noticed that I remembered something when you said the setting was Ostia, Italy.
Okay.
And I was like, oh wait, we put it there for a reason because it was close to Milan, and we wanted to have that. That was important for some reason or another.
Okay.
I recall. So maybe we can leave it like that. But I don't think. I think it would be better if we. Instead of referencing the bubonic plague there, reference like around the start of his journey for the search for the Lazarus Pits, or around the 1450s, or referencing just something else that happened at that time.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Because Raish is going to bring up the bubonic thing later in the finale, anyway.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that I wanted to bring up is that I feel like Talia should have some sort of slight narration during the flashback, just to make sure that it feels awkward, at least for me reading it, that it almost feels like they're two intercut scenes as opposed to just a flashback happening. It's like the flashback in it was different in like Mask of the Phantasm. The flashbacks were never narrated because it was actually Bruce remembering these things that happened. He wasn't actually explaining them to anybody. He was just remembering them for himself. Whereas in Return of the Joker, Batgirl there were extended scenes where Batgirl, even though she was narrating, had nothing to say, but she would still occasionally jump in and explain something.
Right.
Especially at the beginning. And I like how you had it at the end. I just think that there was, I think that maybe she says as he was walking away, I tried to stop him, or I couldn't understand what was going on, or something like that.
Here's how I am sort of envision it right now, rereading it.
Uh-huh.
The line that I have after the flashback that says "Interior Lazarus Pit, Talia ... That was the day I lost my father. I haven't seen him since." I sort of imagined that's the day I lost my father as a voiceover going out of the flashback as Raish is flying off, and I haven't seen him since right after the wavy lines go back into the episode. And at the top of the scene, I think you're right, and we should put some voiceover when Talia says, hold on. Talia says, "Do you want me to tell you or not?" That's when we enter the flashback mode. I think she should have some voiceover like we had just. It was right after my father had given up killing Superman and taking his powers to save me, and we both fell down the ravine, or whatever it was that happened. I don't remember exactly.
Cool. Yeah, okay. That's what I think it was. It was the transit, because I liked how you had it going out. That worked really well.
Yeah. But now that you pointed it out, I see what you're saying, and I think that the quick voiceover in the beginning will make it work.
And tiny nitpick. He didn't give up. He was defeated.
Where?
Raish didn't give up trying to kill Superman. He just failed.
Oh yeah.
No, I wanted to bring that up. And does Alfred smoke a pipe?
I don't know. It worked
in
when I was typing it. It just worked in the visual I had. Like the whole vibe of what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Batman's been gone for 4 days. He has no idea where he is. Like, I'm gonna fucking smoke a pipe. I don't know. That was. I mean,
I
stuff like that is up to you.
Yeah. See, I like the visual. It's just I don't know if that's out of character for me.
It might be. Then I have no problem parting with that.
Okay. I was wondering. It was like it seemed a little jarring.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought it was great. Though actually, I think Rish's explanation of why he's leaving should be just slightly longer.
Okay.
And that's okay. That's my only other.
I just quoted you from the two times we had talked about it on the podcast before. I quoted the notes, so I didn't know what else you want to. But again, I look forward to us doing passes on each other's stuff,
and we'll worry about that when we're when we've actually got the whole thing put together, and then we'll go through and
right.
Because what we're gonna do is, I think the way I had figured that we'll do it is that we'll have all the test readers do everything, and we'll do our own test reads of it and pretend that this, like, we had nothing to do with it, and just read it, like, individual, read it completely objectively and jot down what we have wrong, our reactions, the same way all the test readers will.
Yes. So that the end of that sequence I just read was on page 35, and then I've just slightly edited some of your shit, but I mean, it all everything that happens stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the end of that Abaddon attack in the city of Milan, that's page 49, and then Raish meets with the Clock King, and that ends on that ends on page 53. Am I starting the ambush sequence? I'm on page 54. So hold on, around, I'd say 10 more pages of maybe the ambush and the Joker and what that, maybe 15 more pages would be page 110, plus another 20 pages for the finale is 130. So it'd be or no, what am I was thinking of minutes, not fucking pages, or hours. Anyway,
120 hours.
54 plus 15, yeah, that would be like 70, plus another 20 for the finale. That'd be an hour 30 if we're going by pages equals minutes. So I think it's gonna work out fine.
Yeah, I mean, 54 pages is way more than I thought we had written already.
I'll drink that.
Woo!
I'm out of drink. But no, what was it that I was going to say? I noticed something.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking about it the other day. Now, time-wise, there's something a little off that I thought about right when they're leaving the attack on Milan, and then immediately following that with the Clock King scene.
I thought about this for a long time today. Go ahead.
And it's just like, okay, so Raish knows that his guys in Milan have failed, and immediately he has, like, the way the scene seems to write, at least the way I had it written, was immediately he found this out and has the Clock King fucking there in, like, the drop of a hat. I mean, granted, well, no, he doesn't have that time belt yet, so we can't even do that.
Exactly.
Okay, so what do we do to ease that transition a little bit?
I said,
also they have to fly all the way back to the Batcave, which is going to take the better part of a day.
Yeah, and I mean, they also need to have the time belts created before they leave for the Batcave.
Mm-hmm.
But I already sort of spent some time thinking about this. Honestly, in the flow of things, there's so much stuff going on that I don't think there will be too much questioning about timing.
Mm-hmm.
But in my rewrite of it, they don't find out where. Remember, I rewrote it so they don't find out where Raish is being held or where his hiding place is.
Yeah,
and they just sort of know Bruce is after him. And they made it for this long, but now they saw Bruce in the same place that their attack was, and so now he thinks, well, now I've been compromised. I made it this far, but now Batman's on to me, and so that's why he hires the Clock King right then. Like, look, I thought my men could do this. They couldn't keep out for Bruce. We have to take care of Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sort of
the detective.
Yeah. I don't speak in dialogue. I mean, we could read through that my pass on it or whatever if you want to see how that works. But
hadn't we already read through your pass?
No, I just did that today. But
okay.
Because today is the day I lined up like every scene all together, so I'm real anal retentive and can't start working on the scene for the fucking ambush and the Joker scene in final draft until everything that's supposed to happen before there is there.
Mm-hmm.
So I copied everything in there and got it to the most concise place to figure out exactly how far we were into the movie, and so I could get all the timing lined out so I could make everything, what everybody was saying, work logically.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
So, but you you put something timing-wise edited into your pass of that scene then?
Yeah, I think so. But I don't remember exactly what. I just remember,
Well, let's go to that scene. It's the next scene.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, this actually came up in, episode 2.
Yeah.
And this is important. Is the spelling of Ra's al Ghul, it actually isn't hyphenated. I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I have been, I haven't actually mentioned that since, but I've always typed it without the hyphen now, since I found that out. And I was like, oh shit.
I've noticed that too. And
I don't think I mentioned that to anybody in a year.
I think I noticed it on the DCAU wiki, but I just still sporadically sometimes type it hyphenated. But I mean, we can read through this scene real quick and see how it goes if you want. I don't remember exactly where it is.
So, who do what?
This is where the scene starts.
Okay, but who do what characters?
Oh, okay.
I guess I'll be Raish.
I'll be Ben.
And I'll be the Clock King.
Okay.
Alright, interior Ra's al Ghul's fortress, night. Ubu enters the main hall to find Raish sitting at the head of the table. He crosses over to Raish, but does not sit down.
Are you sure about this, Master? This man is very unusual. I don't trust him.
Raish looks up and smiles confidently at Ubu.
You don't have to, nor should you, but you do need to trust me.
Shouting.
Send him in!
The door opens and Temple Fugit, the Clock King, briskly enters, wearing his trademark clock-shaped glasses and walking with his clock hand cane, carrying himself very businesslike. He addresses Raish in an annoyed tone. You have precisely 3 minutes to explain to me why you took me from my home and why I am here. Raish smirking.
I hardly think I'll need even that long. Please, take a seat.
The Clock King sits down opposite Raish. Ubu glares at him. Sorry.
Okay. We're leaving that in. That's brilliant.
Yes.
That is brilliant. I'll read the line, and our more dedicated viewers will get it. So let's get to the point. I am called Ra's al Ghul, and I need you, the Clock King, to assassinate the crime fighter known as the Batman. My own agents have proven unable to handle him.
The Clock King's eyes widen, intrigued. Interesting. I had a feeling this was going to be that sort of business, but I haven't done that sort of thing since Hamilton Hill left Gotham City.
I am aware of your past with Mayor Hill.
Raish slides a photo toward the Clock King, who picks it up and sees a picture that the audience doesn't, and smiles. See, I'm just playing with shit. I can't help it. I wish I could have been there to see it. You have my interest. However, I'm curious as to why you'd come to me. Why not Joker, or Killer Croc, or any of those other assassins?
Apart from being a maniac who couldn't be trusted, the word is the Joker is deceased, and I could never trust an animal like Killer Croc with a task such as this. No, of all the detective's former adversaries, you are the only one who seems both mentally stable and competent enough to handle the job.
I'm flattered, but I have no interest in money. I did have enough to see my way out of prison.
Surely there's something you must want.
The Clock King pauses for a beat, thinking. I'm guessing you've been the one behind all these global attacks? Raish smiles as if he's been complimented on his attire.
You guess correctly.
Your plan seems bold, but if I'm to succeed, then I'd like a country of my own if you can spare it.
That seems quite reasonable. Take your pick. Would you like Japan, Russia, Brazil? Any country can be yours upon the death of detective.
Not so fast. One more thing. Clock King pulls a sheet out of his briefcase and hands it to Raish, who unrolls a blueprint of the quantum temporal manipulation band. I'll need a few of these.
This will be no trouble at all. Do we have a deal, Mr. Fugit?
Yes, it's a deal. They stand and shake hands.
Perfect. A plane will be provided to take you and Ubu to Gotham City upon completion of your device.
Shocked, Ubu walks forward.
What?
Yes, Ubu. You know the location of the Batcave, which is where you will start. You will accompany Mr. Fugit as a means of precaution and report back to me.
Ubu looks at the Clock King, then angrily turns to Raish, but remains silent. The Clock King turns to leave, but stops midway and turns back to Raish. I'm curious about something. Why now? Is the Batman coming after you? Raish looks back at the Clock King with anger.
I do not fear the Batman. My guards spotted him on my trail, and he's likely looking for my location. The detective and I have always had an honorable relationship. Years ago, I'd never dreamed of hiring an assassin. But after so many setbacks, surprise is now our only ally, and no matter how much respect I have for the detective, I cannot grant him a just death without risking my master plan.
Which is what? Raish walks behind his throne to an active Lazarus pit, hidden before by the tapestry. As he speaks, he peers into it deeply.
I wish simply for a balanced world. No more, no less. A world wherein humanity bows to the natural order of things instead of challenging it. And I do not care how many deaths it takes to get there.
He turns back to the Clock King with a look of finality.
Your 3 minutes are up.
Clock King nods, exiting silently. Ubu then crosses to Raish.
You're giving him an entire country? Why would you do this?
Are you questioning me, Ubu?
No, Master.
He has what he wants, and so do we. And should he ever become a problem, what country could possibly stand up against me?
Raish bursts out in laughter as Ubu exits the chamber.
So, I liked some of your edits. I didn't like some others. I would have to go through and, manually pick it all apart. But, again, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
We got some more shit to go. You have any other scenes that you finished?
I just started the Batcave scene. You can look at the beginning of it.
What's the beginning of it?
Here. We're right here.
Oh. That's the next scene.
Yeah, this is the next scene right before the ambush. Right. Alright, interior, Batcave, evening. Alfred puts away some tools. The Batwing rockets in. Alfred presses a nearby button and the workbench area disappears into the floor. The ship lands. Bruce and Talia exit. Bruce is preoccupied, rushing to the Bat computer.
I'm guessing you put it over here?
Alfred, who stands next to the casing of a new Batsuit, looks disappointed.
Good to see you too, sir.
Talia approaches Alfred, extending her hand.
Good to see you again, Alfred.
Reluctantly, he shakes her hand.
Hello, Miss Ghul.
Bruce works vigorously at the Bat computer.
It looks like it matched up a sample from the archives and singled out one of the elements. Extract of Lazarus.
I thought you said there was no need to sample the Lazarus pit.
Yeah, because I already had it in my database.
Is that enough to create a cure?
Not yet, but it's still breaking it down. I thought I showed you how to do this. You can build anything, but when it comes to computers...
I'm sorry, sir. I did my best.
It's fine. We just need to give it a bit more time.
At that, a pocket watch flies through the air, landing nearby. Talia reaches down to pick it up. It ticks loudly. Bruce pulling her away.
No, don't!
An explosion. The smoke clears. Guarding Alfred and Talia, Bruce looks up to see... Time's up, Batman! And that's all I've got so far.
Okay. I like it except for... Bruce seems like he's kind of being a dick to Alfred.
I know that's going to be the tragedy of it. I mean, to me, when I was writing it, I know how it seems that way, but, I mean... One of the themes of this is how Bruce cannot just, let go of what he's doing to appreciate, what he has... or what's there, or appreciate anything in his life, and the tragedy is Talia took the time to greet Alfred the last time any of them could, and Bruce was so set on what he had to do, and And I mean, I see how just reading that blankly, you can build anything. But when it comes to computers, I could see how that sounds like a dick. But I when I was writing it, he had sort of like, I'm giving you shit tone. But and also, I didn't plan on us reading this. This is just my first draft of me putting stuff in here. Like this is not a finalized thing at all. So I mean, I hadn't even decided on any of that.
Okay, I'd say fiddle with it just a bit.
Yeah, definitely. As clearly, it's not done.
Mm-hmm. But I love the whole we need a bit more time, and then that's when the yeah. Is Talia still holding the fucking pocket watch when it explodes?
She reaches down to pick it up, but she doesn't pick it up.
Oh, okay.
He pulls her away before she does.
And the other thing was, I thought the line was going to be, "It's been a long time."
See, yeah, I hadn't looked it up yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it was.
I knew it was some pun, and that was just the placeholder.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a long time, Batman.
Yeah, that works a lot better.
And then, oh god, and you actually do have to put this line in. We're joking about it, but it's just like, you know, when Alfred's like, "Oh yeah, what is the Clock King doing here?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you love this. So let's get to the point. I
thought that was very clever, and it doesn't seem out of place. Like, it doesn't seem forced at all. It just, like, anyone who's not familiar with this podcast, that joke is going to go right over their heads. Yeah, and it's perfect. It's perfect. I love it.
Well, and it was so close to what you had. I mean, you just said, like, I guess we'll get to the point or something like that. It was just too close. I couldn't not do it.
No. Perfect. It's brilliant. Okay. Well, now we've got, I guess it's my turn to do some scenes?
Yeah.
I got my last 3 of them when we divvied them up. And I've got my last 3 put together.
Which is Record Time, Outside Racist Fortress, and then the plane?
Uh-huh.
Damn, we're getting close, son.
Holy shit. Yeah.
We're getting...
No, I'm done with my half. Now we're waiting on him. And you.
I finished mine.
You finished scene 31. You still have scene 30.
I thought Matt read scene 30.
Wait.
He wrote scene 30 and 31, but as it turns out, his draft was literally a page and a half.
Oh. The whole thing?
I think so, yeah.
But that's going to be short. I mean, it's going to be short anyway. But yeah, we'll figure it. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to download it because I guess Final Draft does not display right when... Yeah, because I looked at it and I just clicked on it and it opened up and it was just like all this fucking HTML code for like fucking 50 pages or something like that. So you've got to download it to read it.
Alright, here it is.
Cool.
Alright. This is after the Joker... accidentally inspires Batman to try again, faith renewed.
And like I said, this again, I think of the scenes that I've done, these 3 that are the ones I'm least proud of, but I still think they'll be pretty good. And I had some neat ideas that I wonder if you guys will like.
Okay,
so we'll see what it has.
Cool. Interior, Wayne Manor, night. Bruce jumps from his chair and runs to the Batcave entrance. Interior, Batcave. Bruce makes it to the bottom of the stairs and to the case wherein Alfred's untested Batsuit variant sits. With one last glance at it, he grabs the mask. Over at the testing computer and completely dressed in the new suit, Bruce punches a few numbers into the computer, turning the difficulty from 10 to 20. He slams another button and pulls on his mask as the computer monitor hanging from the ceiling displays "Begin course." Batman sprints through the spinning karate rods and stunning... What?
Lasers.
Yeah.
No, it was just... The spinning karate rods, I researched it. For half an hour, I tried Googling what the fuck those things are called, because I know they have a name, I just don't know what the fuck it is.
Oh.
So if anybody finds that out, put that down.
Batman sprints through the spinning karate rods and stunning lasers, dodging every strike. He jumps onto a springboard just past the karate rods and bounces off a trampoline on the wall. He activates his jets and flies right over the bouncing pitfall, still dodging innumerable laser blasts. Landing right into the middle of a ring, laser turrets pop up all around them. Batman dodges every single hit and punches and kicks his way through the dozens of turrets. As the last few turrets seem to get a beat on him, Batman uses the suit's invisibility, skirts past the blast, and knocks out the last few turrets. A beep sounds from the computer monitor, showing Batman's time as 29.37 seconds, then flashes. Record time. Batman, exhausted but accomplished and being the most capable he's ever been, pulls off his mask and smiles. Just then, Talia comes running down the stairs and sees Bruce.
Bruce?
Alfred was right. My parents would be proud. Everything I've done for them. Alfred always wanted me to have peace and not need Batman anymore. But Alfred wouldn't have wanted me to give up just because he's gone. If he had, this suit wouldn't exist. He would have wanted me to see this through to the end. Now I fight. Not just for my parents, but for Alfred, too.
Oh, he pauses to look into Talia's eyes.
We're going to Arkhangels to destroy the Abaddon factory. Ra's will pay for every single life he's wiped out.
Talia smiles.
I've already put everything in the Batwing.
Then let's go.
Exterior, about half a mile from Rash's Arkhangels outpost. Night. The low-flying Batwing swoops into view of a snow-covered mountain plain, a castle-esque building just in view.
Set down here. We need to stay out of range of Father's anti-aircraft batteries.
The Batwing sets down on the plain. Batman and Talia exit. Batman looks out at the outpost, and through the visor we see it with binocular vision. It flips through visible light and infrared. There are many armored shadow guards patrolling.
It looks like there's about 30 shadow guards up there, armed with machine guns.
Do you see a way past them?
No, they've got that door completely guarded.
There's a back way in, but I'll need a distraction, or I'll never get to it.
Bruce ponders for a second. He looks back at the fortress through the binocular visor and sees a hangar open. A biplane revs up and starts rolling out.
Oh no.
What is it?
I found your distraction. When I move, that's your signal.
Bruce?
Batman pulls her into a passionate kiss. They embrace for a few moments before Batman gently pulls away. He backs up a few paces, still looking at Talia. When he spreads the suit's wings and blasts off towards the now airborne plane passing directly overhead. Batman flies as fast as the suit will take him right at the biplane, and his thrusters die down. He shoots a grappling line from his arm right around the tail of the plane, pulling himself onto it. His weight shifts the plane slightly, alerting the two occupants to his presence. The guard in the back seat pulls a pistol and begins firing at Batman. None of the shots land, and Batman snatches the guard out of the seat, KOs him with one punch, pulls his parachute line, and throws him out of the plane. A guard on one of the fortress's guard posts notices the gunshots and radios Ra's directly. Sure! Interior, Rash's fortress command room. Ra's, sitting in front of his world map, is interrupted by the alert before he can cross Gotham City off the map. Someone is attacking our plane!
So the detective survived. Shoot the plane down.
Intercut with, Sir?
I said shoot it down!
And intercut. The tower guard motioning to the AA gunner. Fire! Exterior on Rash's biplane. Batman rips a pistol out of the pilot's hand and KOs him the same way he did the first guard. Then jumps into the pilot's seat as bullets start ripping through the wings of the plane. Batman rolls the plane and loops around through the hail of bullets, the engine screaming, the plane disintegrating. As the engine sputters and dies and a wing comes off, Batman jumps from the plane and jets off as it explodes. Zooming towards the fortress and rolling to avoid the hail of gunfire, Batman throws a few exploding batarangs at each of the anti-aircraft guns, disabling them. He lands by kicking a guard, sending him flying, and about 20 others come up to fight. Some are shooting. Batman goes for those first, ripping a gun out of one's hand and bashing him in the head with it, and throws the gun at another guard. A few more guards run toward Batman from behind, and Batman does a spinning kick to take out all of them. He throws a bolas at two guards as they raise their guns, roping them together. Batman ducks a blow from another charging guard and grabs him by the leg, spinning and hurling him into 4 others. Another charges him from behind, who he elbows in the gut, grabs him by the shoulders, and throws him over his head at the last guard standing by the door. Walking past the mass of unconscious guards, Batman takes his belt buckle off, which unfolds into a buzzsaw. He uses it to cut through the door and makes his way inside. That was pretty fucking nuts, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. I liked all
That
of
was
it.
intense.
I liked all of it a lot.
Cool.
And I bet it's like a weird thing since you already sort of animated all of this that it didn't feel maybe as fulfilling since you've already seen this. Like,
Yeah, I think that maybe that's what it was, because it was like... Because that's what I did, was I watched the video and then just wrote down what the fuck happened.
Yeah. But his dialogue afterwards, good. Yeah, you've like completed the scene.
that was what was missing.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea what the hell happened after that, so I was just like, it sort of, because like I was wondering, is just like he was freaking out because Alfred died and he was gonna stop being Batman, but then I was like, wait, his parents dying was what made him start.
Yeah.
Eventually he's gonna nut up and shut up and go be Batman again.
Yeah.
I think he had to connect those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, by next episode, I will have written Film Crit Hulk and finished my 2 scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess we can read my 2 major scenes next time, critique those.
What scenes do you have left to do?
Just the ambush scene with Alfred dying and fucking Ubu dying, and then the study afterwards with Talia and the Joker, and then I'll add in yours, and then I suppose
we got one more scene to read.
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh.
All right.
Even hot, this is still pretty fucking good.
I can't believe both you guys managed to make those last the whole episode.
Not the whole episode.
Yeah, I say as he finishes his drink. And as Sean finishes his drink. God damn it.
Alright,
everything I say is wrong.
Alright. Somebody number us.
This is Sean's scene 31, which is the last scene in the film, and I guess who we will be is, I guess just for continuity's sake, I'll be Batman.
Sure.
Where is there a Robber 2 present?
Yes.
Okay. I'll also be Robber 2. Ken, you can be number 1, and Sean, you'll be number 3.
Okay.
Alright. Interior. Bank. Night. Fade in. Robber 1 and 2 goons are in progress of robbing the Gotham First Bank and Trust.
The alarm's going off. We've got roughly 10 minutes before the police arrive, and even less time for the bat.
Pay the alarm no mind, boys. Thorne put someone as important as me on this heist for your protection. If the bat should arrive, I'll put an end to him this time. At that moment, the robbers shine their flashlights on the safe door, and Batman turns off his cloaking device, revealing himself in front of the safe.
Remember me?
You, he says, swallowing the words of his previous statement.
Do they know how it really happened that night? Did you tell them you were so scared that you closed your eyes when you pulled that trigger? You're just a cowardly dog hiding behind your master. Don't let him talk to you like that, Ace. Let's show this bat what happens when he messes with Thorne's boys.
Robber 1, still petrified from shock and fear, he mutters, "This time, it's the end, Batman." Batman smirking.
Ace. Fitting name for a pet.
Batman then leaps into the air and delivers a punch into the cowardly robber. The end.
I like it. Though, I'm not sure if the Ace reference fits.
If it doesn't, change it.
Because I'm
It
just
just
like...
felt fun.
Well, yeah, because I always thought... no, it is fun. I'm just wondering, because like I thought he named Ace after that little girl it would
Yeah,
be a
I
little
already tried to do this once with the dog earlier.
That's right, we did.
And then, but then to name him after a dude that fucking shot him in the chest, then he's sent to jail. I don't know.
That's okay.
But no, it was a nice idea.
Yeah.
But I like how you continued the dialogue instead of just ending it with like "remember me" like we had it before. I like how Batman's just sort of taunting him and shit.
I like it too. I'm in my mind. I had accepted it as "Remember Me" was the last shot of the movie, so I'm still like. Right now I'm set on it, but now after like letting a different possibility set in, I'll let you know. But I definitely like the dialogue too. Because I mean, one thing I always thought about the ending of this movie would be like, as soon as that climax ends and Talia's doing the Inglourious Bastards thing, like I thought we'd tack on like him sitting watching TV for a minute, and then like this really quick scene at the bank, and like maybe in less than like 2 minutes after the climax of the movie, we'd be like booming off to the credits. So I always imagined them like a quick 1-2 after the climax, but I mean that was just because we hadn't really put much content in them and discussing them before. Mm-hmm. So
Matt also did a version of this scene and number 30 that I don't know if you read.
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's in the email somewhere. Not in this email. It's in the Project Batman email.
Right.
So
okay.
But yeah, so it's in there at some point.
Do you want to look at that?
We can look at that.
I hadn't looked at that yet either.
You hadn't? Mm. So we sent it to you, and the only one that saw it was me.
Apparently, you're just observant.
All right. These are Matt's version of those scenes. Fade in. Interior. Wayne Manor study. Night. A scarred and darkened Batcave with damage still evident from an old cape and... He's writing this like a book, you fuckers. A scarred and darkened Batcave with damage still evident and an old cape and cowl draped over the spot where Alfred fell. Bluish light flickers across the burnt rubble and rock. The camera pans around the room slowly as a newscast plays in the background. The camera follows the sound and gets louder as we focus in on Batman in front of his Batcomputer reviewing the news coverage of Raish's failed apocalypse. Batman has a hand resting on his chin. As the world rises from the ashes of this most horrible of terrorist acts, we must remember our shared humanity, finding hope and kindness wherever it can be found. In that vein, Stanley Webb is embedded with the Army's 82nd Airborne and has filed this report. The camera zooms up to the monitor as the newscaster hands off the reporter to the reporter in the field. Exterior, refuge camp, Paris. Somebody be Stanley Webb.
I'll be Stanley Webb. Paris, Milan, Houston. Memorials to a time before what some are already calling the near apocalypse.
I like that. Sorry.
Volunteers and armed forces from countless nations are assisting in rebuilding efforts, attempting to ensure vital services are restored to millions currently without power, potable water, fuel, and communications. One such group pledging their aid is the Society of Shadows, an organization whose founder was the terrorist leader responsible for these unprecedented attacks on all mankind. Ms. Talia Al Ghul is the current head of the SOS and joins us here at the Champ de Mars refuge compound.
Talia Al Ghul enters the frame looking tired and disheveled. Since we last saw her, she seems to have slept little and seen more horrors than her years should admit.
Thank you. I wish to offer my life to assisting in the rebuilding of the regions targeted by my renegade father.
Stanley attempts to ask a question, but is interrupted by Talia.
I know the horrors my father has wrought this world, and I will live the rest of my days with the weight of his actions on me. But consider that the inventor of dynamite, the WMD of its day, was the same man who founded and funded the Nobel Peace Prize. Alfred Nobel will influence the direction of our society above the demented legacy of Ra's al Ghul.
Interior, Wayne Manor study, night. Camera cuts to a close-up of Batman's face. It's emotionless. His eyes focus on another monitor, and he clicks the computer to read the Gotham newspaper's website. Browsing the page, his eyes suddenly narrow. The camera shifts to the monitor, and a small article on a bank heist reportedly in progress. The bandit resembles the shooter, last seen firing a gun on the background on the Batman. Fade out. Fade in. Exterior Gotham First Bank and Trust. Night. Head robber, has a group of four henchmen who are busy hauling away a ton of bags into a large van. As men grunt to lift the bags, the head robber sneers at their belabored groans. "Put your back into it, boys. If you left anything in that vault, I send the slowest of you back in." One of the surly henchmen waiting to load their bags gets ready to speak up, but a shrimpy henchman looks up to him and cautions him against it.
You don't want to go up against the boss. He's the only guy on the streets who went up against the Bat and got away with it. They say he designed his own bullets just to shoot the Bat and put him down for good.
The surly henchman starts to say something, but gets a terrified look in his eye and points up to the skyline. Wait, is that me? No. That's...
Then who the hell is that?
The Batman glides through the air, launching squarely on Shrimpy and surly henchmen. The other henchmen pull out their guns to shoot, but Batman disarms them with a batarang. This leaves only the head robber, who is cowering in the back of the van beneath the bags of money. Batman walks up to the van slowly. At the door, he thrusts his hand through the bags, grabs the head robber's ankle, drags him out of the van, and down onto the asphalt below. The head robber falls with his rump on the street and his back up against the back bumper of the van. POV shot through the eyes of the head robber, slowly looking up towards Batman, who stands triumphant against Gotham's skyline.
Remember me?
Batman throws a strong punch straight at the camera. Fade to black. Finn.
Finn?
I really like a lot of the news stuff. I think we could actually pull a lot of exactly that, at least for the dialogue going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Including most of the stuff Talia says. I don't like the idea that whatever robber got away with it in the beginning is becoming like Gotham legend.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just should have had like a good few weeks of like talking it up, but like after that, like Batman's like, no, you're not gonna get too much of a reputation around here, and he just takes him down easily.
You know what I like the idea of? Is that it's actually the opposite thing. He keeps telling everybody that, hey, I took out Batman, and nobody fucking believes him. And then he's sitting there and he's talking all high and mighty. He's like, can you believe this guy really thinks he took out the Batman? And then fucking Batman shows up and he's like, I fucking knew it. Look at that, all that shit.
Well, he has to have gotten some promotion, because that was the whole original idea. Was like he was just working for someone, and now he's like in charge of other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, look at this guy. He thinks he's that badass, and Batman just takes him out first, and then we just know what happens after the cameras fade out.
Mm-hmm. But one thing that I do think that we're missing from both of these versions of the scene is that I wanted some sort of, like, I envisioned some sort of big Batman flying over the cityscape or driving the Batmobile. Now there's something. We could almost have this as an homage to the opening of the animated series, where, you know, we powered up the Batmobile and it's like dun, 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 and all this shit happens. The Batmobile pulls up, and then fucking Batman flies out of the motherfucking thing and then lands in front of the dude or something like that.
Punches him, just says "Remember me," and then like, bam, credits.
Something.
I like that.
I like the part where Batman.
Yeah, you knew what I was gonna say.
Me too. Hey, I earlier today, man, I was playing some Arkham Origins.
Nice.
And I got real worried for a minute because there's a sequence where Batman takes care of one mission and then he like calls the Batcave to get some info from Alfred, and it's Bane who answers, and he's like, "Yes, I'm in your house." And then like you take the Batwing back to the Batcave, and everything's in flames, and your detective vision isn't working. You walk over to the Bat computer and repair the Bat computer so you get detective vision back. You turn your detective vision on and you look all around and you can't see anything, but way down below at the bottom you just see the figure of a body, and you jump over the Bat computer and you go down to the body and you pull some rubble off, and it's Alfred, and he like listens to his heartbeat and his breath, and there's like it seems like he's dead. Like I was like, oh my god, they took our crazy thing. But earlier in the game, Batman has stolen the Shockwave. Is that a villain? Shockwave? His like shot gloves?
Yeah.
To like charge stuff up. And he thinks he's lost Alfred, and he just punches the ground really hard, and his Shockwave gloves go off. And he looks at him, and then like he shocks Alfred a few times, and then Alfred comes back. But they got really they are really close to doing what I really thought they were doing it, man.
But it's a prequel, and he was in the later.
I know, but in the moment I was so caught up in the story that I was like, "What the fuck?" I didn't even think about the fact that it was a prequel, though.
Oh man, that would have sucked. But that being said, if anyone ever wants to, say, "Oh no, you stole that from whatever," we got documented that we did this shit. So we're just like, yeah, we're better than everybody. It is a good thing we're awesome.
That is a good thing.
And on that note, how do I say this into the mic? Just say that. They'll get it.
Remember me?
Get it?